Welcome to the fascinating world of psychology. In this video, we'll journey through the origins, evolution, and contemporary branches of psychology, exploring how this science helps us understand the mind, behavior, and the complex factors that shape who we are. From the stories of remarkable individuals to the scientific methods that drive discovery, psychology offers insights into everything from memory and learning to emotion and mental health. Whether you're curious about how the brain works or considering a career in psychology, this chapter will provide a comprehensive introduction to the field and its many applications. Let's begin with some intriguing real-life cases. Clive Wearing, a talented musician, lost his ability to form new memories after illness, yet he can still play the piano flawlessly. James Wannerton experiences tastes when he hears words. His girlfriend's name tastes like rhubarb. John Nash, a Nobel Prize-winning mathematician, believed newspapers contained secret messages for him and was later diagnosed with schizophrenia. These stories raise fundamental questions. How does the brain work? What connects our internal thoughts to our outward behaviors? Psychology seeks to answer these mysteries, blending scientific inquiry with the study of human experience. At its core, psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior. Psychologists use the scientific method to explore questions like, what is creativity? Why do people experience prejudice? What is consciousness? By proposing hypotheses and testing them through observation and experimentation, psychologists build theories that help explain the complexities of human thought and action. This empirical approach ensures that psychology remains grounded in measurable data, distinguishing it from philosophy or speculation. Scientific method is the backbone of psychological research. It begins with asking a question, followed by formulating a hypothesis, a tentative explanation. Researchers then design experiments or observations to test the hypothesis. The results are analyzed and shared with the scientific community, allowing others to replicate or build upon the findings. This process ensures that psychological knowledge is based on evidence, not just opinion. For example, while we can't measure birds' happiness, we can study its brain activity or ask humans about their emotions, keeping psychology empirical and objective. Many students are drawn to psychology out of curiosity about themselves and others, or because it's required for their studies. Psychology is one of the most popular college majors in the United States, with graduates like Mark Zuckerberg and Natalie Portman. Studying psychology hones critical thinking, scientific literacy, and communication skills, abilities that are valuable in any career. Psychology also helps us appreciate the diversity of human experience and the complex interplay between biology, environment, and culture in shaping behavior. Key benefit of studying psychology is developing critical thinking. This means actively applying skills to evaluate information, recognize biases, use logical reasoning, and ask insightful questions. In a world full of competing facts and misinformation, these skills are essential. Psychology students also learn to communicate effectively, preparing them to analyze and interpret information in a variety of contexts. These abilities are not only useful in psychology, but are highly valued in many professions. Psychology students gain a deeper understanding of the factors that shape behavior, including biology, environment, and personal experiences. They learn about the principles that guide thinking and behavior, and come to appreciate the diversity that exists across individuals and cultures. This awareness is crucial for anyone interested in helping others or working in diverse environments, as it fosters empathy and respect for different perspectives. Psychology is a relatively young science, with its experimental roots in the 19th century. Before that, questions about the mind were considered part of philosophy. Two key figures, Wilhelm Wundt and William James, are credited with establishing psychology as a distinct scientific discipline. Their work marked a shift from philosophical speculation to systematic scientific investigation of the mind and behavior. Wilhelm Wundt, often called the father of psychology, established the first psychology laboratory in 1879. He believed that psychology should focus on conscious experience and sought to identify its basic components through introspection, a process where individuals examine their own thoughts and feelings. Wundt's approach, known as structuralism, aimed to break down mental processes into their simplest elements. Although introspection proved to be subjective, Wundt's work laid the foundation for experimental psychology. William James, the first American psychologist, offered a different perspective called functionalism. Influenced by Darwin's theory of evolution, James believed psychology should study the functions of behavior, how mental activities help organisms adapt to their environments. Functionalism emphasized the operation of the whole mind, rather than its individual parts. James used both introspection and objective measures, such as recording devices and physiological observations, to study mental processes. Sigmund Freud, an Austrian neurologist, profoundly influenced psychology with his psychoanalytic theory. Freud believed that many psychological problems stem from the unconscious mind, a reservoir of feelings and urges outside our awareness. He used techniques like dream analysis and free association to access the unconscious. Psychoanalytic theory emphasized the importance of early childhood experiences and unconscious motivations, shaping clinical psychology for decades. Gestalt psychology, introduced by Max Wertheimer, Kurt Koffka, and Wolfgang Köhler, emphasized that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Rather than breaking down experiences into individual elements, Gestalt psychologists focused on how parts relate to each other to form a unified whole. This perspective influenced research on perception and sensation, highlighting the importance of context and relationships in shaping our experiences. Behaviorism emerged as a dominant force in psychology, focusing on observable behavior rather than inner experience. Ivan Pavlov's experiments with conditioned reflexes, John B. Watson's emphasis on observable actions, and B. F. Skinner's work on reinforcement and punishment all contributed to this movement. Behaviorists believed that behavior could be studied objectively and modified through learning, laying the groundwork for experimental psychology and behavioral therapies. B. F. Skinner developed the concept of operant conditioning, studying how behavior is shaped by reinforcement and punishment. Using the Skinner box, he demonstrated how animals could learn to perform actions for rewards or avoid punishments. Skinner's work influenced education, therapy, and our understanding of learning, showing that behavior can be modified through systematic reinforcement. Response to the determinism of psychoanalysis and behaviorism, humanistic psychology emerged, emphasizing free will, personal growth, and the innate goodness of people. Abraham Maslow proposed a hierarchy of needs, culminating in self-actualization, the realization of one's full potential. Carl Rogers developed client-centered therapy, focusing on empathy, genuineness, and unconditional positive regard. Humanism shifted psychology's focus to the whole person and their capacity for growth. Carl Rogers believed that for therapy to be effective, therapists must provide unconditional positive regard, genuineness, and empathy. In client-centered therapy, the client takes the lead, while the therapist listens and supports. This approach empowers individuals to find their own solutions and has influenced counseling practices worldwide. Rogers' ideas continue to shape modern psychotherapy and our understanding of human potential. The 1950s, psychology shifted focus back to the mind, thanks to advances in linguistics, neuroscience, and computer science. The cognitive revolution emphasized the study of mental processes like memory, language, and problem-solving. Noam Chomsky was a key figure, arguing that understanding behavior required studying the mind. This interdisciplinary approach, known as cognitive science, continues to shape modern psychology. Today, psychology is a diverse discipline with many branches and specialties. The American Psychological Association, APA, represents psychologists across 56 divisions, covering topics from religion to neuroscience. Psychologists work in education, healthcare, industry, and beyond, reflecting the field's broad impact on society. This diversity ensures that psychology remains dynamic and responsive to new challenges and discoveries. Our psychology explores how biology influences behavior, focusing on the structure and function of the nervous system. Researchers study everything from sensory systems to neurodevelopment and psychological disorders. Evolutionary psychology examines how behaviors may have evolved to solve problems faced by our ancestors. Both fields use interdisciplinary approaches, combining insights from biology, medicine, and psychology to understand the roots of behavior. Sensation and perception research investigates how we receive and interpret sensory information. Scientists in this field study the physiological processes behind sight, sound, touch, and more, as well as the psychological experiences that result. Our perceptions are shaped by attention, past experiences, and cultural background, making this area of psychology both complex and fascinating. Cognitive psychology focuses on mental processes such as thinking, memory, problem-solving, and language. This field often involves collaboration with experts from computer science, linguistics, and neuroscience, leading to the development of cognitive science. Cognitive psychologists use a variety of methods to study how we process information and how our thoughts influence our actions. Developmental psychology examines how people grow and change throughout life, from infancy to old age. Researchers study physical maturation, cognitive development, moral reasoning, and social behavior. Jean Piaget's work on cognitive development in children, for example, revealed that young children think differently from adults. As populations age, developmental psychologists are increasingly interested in changes that occur later in life. Personality psychology explores the patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that make each person unique. Early theories, like Freud, focused on unconscious conflicts, while modern research emphasizes measurable traits. The Big Five personality traits, conscientiousness, agreeableness, neuroticism, openness, and extroversion, are widely studied for their stability and genetic influences. Social psychology investigates how we interact with others and how society influences individual behavior. Topics include prejudice, attraction, conflict resolution, and obedience to authority. Stanley Milgram's famous obedience experiments revealed that ordinary people could be persuaded to inflict harm under authority's direction, leading to important ethical guidelines in psychological research. Industrial organizational (IO) psychology applies psychological principles to workplace settings. Our psychologists help businesses with personnel management, organizational structure, and employee productivity. They also conduct research on workplace behavior, aiming to improve job satisfaction and efficiency. This field bridges psychology and business, making it valuable in today's complex work environments. Health psychology examines how biological, psychological, and social factors affect health and illness. Using the biopsychosocial model, health psychologists study how stress, behavior, relationships, and genetics influence well-being. They work to promote healthier lifestyles through research, education, and public policy, addressing issues like motivation, prevention, and intervention. Sport and exercise psychology focuses on the mental aspects of physical performance. Researchers study motivation, anxiety, and the effects of exercise on emotional well-being. This field also explores how mental and physical performance interact in demanding situations, such as sports, surgery, or military operations, helping individuals achieve their best under pressure. Clinical psychology is dedicated to diagnosing and treating psychological disorders and problematic behaviors. Clinicians use a variety of approaches, including psychoanalytic, humanistic, behavioral, and cognitive therapies. While clinical psychology is often highlighted in popular media, it's just one of many branches in the field. Counseling psychology, a related area, focuses on helping psychologically healthy individuals with emotional, social, and vocational challenges. Forensic psychology applies psychological science to the justice system. Forensic psychologists assess competency to stand trial, consult on child custody cases, and advise on sentencing and treatment. They may serve as expert witnesses in court, help select juries, or provide psychological treatment within the criminal justice system. This field requires a deep understanding of both psychology and law. Multicultural and cross-cultural psychology examine how culture influences psychological processes. Researchers study differences and similarities across cultural groups, challenging assumptions based on Western perspectives. This field is growing, as psychologists recognize the importance of diversity and the need to develop theories that reflect varied cultural experiences. Feminist psychology emerged as a critique of the male-dominated history of the field. Early psychology often excluded women and minorities, leading to biased theories and research. Feminist psychologists reevaluate women's contributions, study gender differences, and challenge assumptions rooted in cultural biases. Their work has broadened the scope of psychology and promoted greater inclusivity. Despite early barriers, women have made significant contributions to psychology. Margaret Floy Washburn was the first woman to earn a PhD in psychology, and Mary Whiton Calkins completed all requirements for a PhD but was denied the degree due to her gender. Other pioneers include Mary Cover Jones, Joan Erickson, Martha Bernal, and Inez Beverly Prosser. Their research and advocacy have shaped the field and inspired future generations. Career in academic psychology typically requires a doctoral degree, such as a PhD or PsyD. Academic psychologists divide their time between teaching, research, and service. They may work as faculty at colleges or universities, conduct research, or supervise students. The path to a faculty position often includes postdoctoral training, allowing young scientists to develop their research skills under expert supervision. Not all academic psychologists are full-time faculty. Adjunct instructors often teach part-time while holding other jobs or gaining experience. Two-year colleges may hire faculty with master's degrees. Some researchers focus exclusively on research, especially at large universities. These varied roles allow psychologists to contribute to education and research in different ways, depending on their interests and qualifications. Many psychologists work outside academia in applied settings. Clinical psychologists diagnose and treat mental health issues, often holding a PsyD, which emphasizes clinical practice over research. Others become counselors, school psychologists, or consultants in industry. These roles require strong communication skills, empathy, and a solid understanding of psychological principles. Master's degree in psychology opens doors to careers in counseling, school psychology, and industrial consulting. Bachelor's degree holders may work as case managers in sales, human resources, or healthcare. The skills gained through psychology, critical thinking, communication, and understanding human behavior are valuable in many professions, making psychology graduates attractive to employers in diverse fields. Psychology graduates find employment in a variety of fields. Top occupations include management, sales, social work, human resources, healthcare, and finance. The versatility of a psychology degree allows graduates to pursue roles that require strong interpersonal skills, analytical thinking, and an understanding of human motivation and behavior. Throughout this chapter, we've encountered many important terms: behaviorism, biopsychology, cognitive psychology, clinical psychology, and more. Understanding these concepts is essential for anyone studying psychology. Each represents a unique perspective or area of research, contributing to the rich tapestry of the field. As you continue your studies, you'll see how these concepts interconnect and inform our understanding of the mind and behavior. Education in psychology provides more than knowledge about the mind. It equips students with critical thinking, scientific literacy, and communication skills. These abilities are highly valued in today's workforce, preparing graduates for a wide range of careers. Psychology also fosters empathy and cultural awareness, helping individuals navigate an increasingly diverse and complex world. Psychology continues to evolve, integrating new discoveries from neuroscience, genetics, and technology. The field remains dynamic, with researchers and practitioners constantly exploring new questions and developing innovative approaches to understanding and improving human life. As society changes, psychology adapts, ensuring its relevance and impact for generations to come. Recap: psychology is the scientific study of mind and behavior. It draws on empirical methods, critical thinking, and a deep appreciation for human diversity. From its philosophical roots to its modern branches, psychology offers valuable insights into who we are and how we relate to the world. Whether you're interested in research, clinical practice, or applied fields, psychology provides a foundation for understanding and helping others. The history of psychology is marked by shifts in perspective, from structuralism and functionalism to psychoanalysis, behaviorism, humanism, and cognitive science. Each movement contributed unique insights, shaping the field into a diverse and interdisciplinary science. Understanding this history helps us appreciate the complexity and richness of psychological inquiry. Contemporary psychology encompasses a wide range of specialties, from biological and cognitive psychology to applied fields like health, forensic, and industrial organizational psychology. This diversity reflects the many ways psychology contributes to society, addressing issues from mental health to workplace productivity and cultural understanding. Careers in psychology are as varied as the field itself. Academic roles often require doctoral degrees, while applied in clinical positions may be accessible with master or bachelor's degrees. The skills gained through psychology, critical thinking, communication, and understanding human behavior are valuable in countless professions, making psychology a versatile and rewarding field of study. As we look to the future, psychology will continue to expand and adapt, integrating new technologies and addressing emerging challenges. Whether you're pursuing a career in psychology or simply interested in understanding yourself and others, the field offers endless opportunities for discovery and growth. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the foundations of psychology.